Hey guys, and welcome to your very first Friday Night Focus training. We're going to do stuff a little bit different than we normally do because you guys can't get into Wednesday clinics like our full-timers. So this is going out to y'all to help you every Friday night. We will post a new video of part of the demo or something we want you to train on or concentrate on, and then we're going to give you the weekend to study it, perfect it, master it, and send it back to us on Monday by 1 o'clock. And I'm going to pick the person who did it the best, and I'm going to post their video on the YouTube and give them $50 bonus on their next sale. Also, for everybody who's sending their videos, just for doing a good job and sending them in and training and trying, we're going to put you in the hat, draw one out, and you're going to get, one person is going to get a $50 on their sale too. So we're hoping this is going to help you and be a little bit fun. I hate being in front of the camera just as much as you guys do. So bear with me. I'm going to do my vac kill for you. Hopefully you'll can learn some things on it. And I think this is one of the most important parts of a demo, because if you make the person understand that this machine right here cannot function and it cannot work and it's doing something terrible in their home, then I think you have a lot better shot at selling Rainbow no matter how much it costs, because this has to be completely gone. That's why they call it the vac kill. They cannot think for a second that it would ever pick up anything, that it would ever work in their home. So I usually say, hey guys, go get me your vacuum cleaner. I want to show you something really cool about it. Something amazing, something I didn't know before they came to my house. I want to show you something about it. When they bring it back, I just say, guys, I don't even know what this is called. This one is a Navigator, but it doesn't matter if it's a Sharp, Electrolux, Kirby. They all work the exact same way. And I'm going to tell you the parts and how this thing works. It's actually broken by the design of the machine. It's broken before you ever get it off the shelf in the store. Sitting on the shelf of the store, completely broken, cannot work. Let me show you why. In 1908, Charles Hoover invented the first vacuum cleaner, and it had four basic parts. It had a motor, an intake, a system that caught the stuff. Back then it was a bag. Now they've been replaced by these fancy canister systems with a HEPA filter, and then an exhaust. So the way it's made to work is when you clip the machine on, the motor makes the beetle bar run, the beetle bar beats the sand and grit comes to the top, and the airflow takes the sand and grit, rides it up into this canister right here, and drops the sand and grit in here, and out comes the air. Now, the whole thing runs on a dry filtration system. If you open this thing up so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about, the air is made to, like I said, come in the bottom, come in here, and then come through some filtration systems to try to keep all that stuff from blowing back out, because it's dry in there, so nothing's catching it. With the Rainbow, it's wet, so it's catching it all. With this, it's dry, so stuff's coming back out. If you look, there's a filter in here. You can see it completely caked. There's a filter, yeah, that's a filter. There's a filter up under all that stuff, and it's completely caked. Well, the filters are made out of porous material. If I could show it to you, it's got little holes in it. It's made to breathe. So the air comes in, the air comes back out the filter. It's porous, kind of looks like this with the holes. If it's a bag, it's got bigger holes because it's a little bit bigger material. If it's a HEPA filter, you got a little bit smaller holes. Well, what happens if you got smaller holes, less stuff gets out, but more stuff clogs it up on the inside. So the first strike against a dry system is leakage dirt. That's what blows back out into the air. You've noticed when you dust, the next day the dust is back. Well, a lot of that is because the leakage dirt that comes back out every time you use the vacuum in the house. Not just because there's just dust everywhere in the house, because you live on a dirt road. Even if you live in the city, you're still going to have dust all the time. You're creating a lot of it with this machine right here. So leakage dirt is the little stuff that can come back through the holes. Your second strike is blockage dirt. That's what actually is caked up right here that you see. All this is called blockage dirt, the stuff that stays inside. Well, it starts clogging up and clogging up. In about 8 to 10 minutes, you've lost about 75% of those holes. They're clogged. Now, if this machine kept pulling in 100% air, pouring it into there, and only 25% got back out, it would blow the canister off the front. But it feels that resistance. The motor's made to meet that resistance in there, and it shuts down on what's pulling in to match what's getting back out. So 8 to 10 minutes, you're pulling in about 25% airflow. That's not enough to even pick up a string on the floor, let alone heavy sand and grit. I know you've seen that string on the floor before. You go over and over and over again, and you can't pick it up. And you think, my bag's full, my canister's full. Well, you're kind of right, but there may not be hardly anything in this canister, but your filter's clogged. That's the first place the dirt goes. It slams up next to the filter, clogs it up, and then in about 8 to 10 minutes, you've lost it all. All you're doing now is making pretty little carpet lines across the floor. You're beating the sand and grit down in the floor, which is the third strike, what's actually in here. You're beating the sand and grit in the floor. You're picking up the little stuff, and you're blowing back out leakage dirt and stuff into the air. So that third stripe, what's actually in here. If you look inside the canister, you can see a lot of it's hair, but you can see not very much dirt at all. It's not heavy, not very much sand and grit. If this thing was full of dirt, it would be like a 5-pound bag of sugar. It would be very, very heavy. It's not. It's made of gray, fluffy stuff, hair, and carpet follicles. That's about what's in here most of the time. About this much dirt, the rest gray, fluffy stuff, hair, carpet follicles. You leave the sand and grit in your floor. One piece of sand has 22 cutting edges, and that grinds that carpet up. Have you ever seen anybody take up old carpet? When you pull it up, there's a layer of sand and grit up underneath it. It's because all you're doing with these things is beating the sand and grit in the floor, and you don't have enough airflow to pick it up, so you leave it in the floor, and it begins to wear your carpet down, just grind it up. We put sand on paper, sandpaper, and grind up metal and wood. What do you think it's doing to your carpet? You see a lot of it in here. But then you have that gray, fluffy stuff. What do you call the gray, fluffy stuff? This lady one time told me dust is what it was. And I said, well, there's dust in your house. That's what we come to know it as. This gray, fluffy stuff is dust. You see it all here. You see it on the outside of the vacuum. Well, let me ask you something. If you went in the kitchen and you found a gray, fluffy spot on a piece of cheese or a piece of bread, then what would you call it? Would you say, oh, my bread is dusty? No. You would say what? Mold. You're exactly right. Mold and bacteria grow in nasty, dark places. Hopefully this is the nastiest place in your house. And you let it sit in the closet a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. How long has this been here since you dumped it? 3 weeks at least? It begins to grow, and it grows and grows and grows. Remember earlier we talked about the dust mite, how he gets from place to place as he attaches on the follicles of dust and moves around as you move around? Well, in here, these suckers can breed and multiply, and you leave them in there for 3 weeks, and you've got 500 generations coming down of dust mites. And when you crank this machine up, guess what? That mold and bacteria doesn't just grow in here and stay in here. It's part of that first strike. That leakage dirt that blows back out, the stuff that you see coming all out, you see the canister, look at the top of that. You see all that? That's your leakage dirt, but it's not dirt. It's leakage, mold, bacteria, dust mites. It blows back in the house every time you crank it up. You smell that nasty smell. You can smell it, and you coat everything in the house. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes when I start pulling cloths that it's on your mini blinds, it's on your couch, it's on your TV, it's on your lampshade. It's not household dust. It's not stuff that's not good for, might be not, it's okay for you. It's mold and bacteria. It's nasty stuff that could cause you sickness, allergies, all kinds of stuff. That's why your grandma told you vacuum then dust, because it blows out the whole time you're vacuuming, and you have to go dust it all and collect it all. Do you know there's a law in the state of Georgia that you cannot use a bag vacuum cleaner within 8 hours of serving food? That's because they know mold and botulism spores grow in nasty, dark places in the vacuum cleaner. They've tested it. They know it grows there. They also know, guess what? It's small enough to come out those holes. So if you vacuum and you're cleaning, it takes 8 hours for it to settle back down. It could land on your food and the food they're serving at the restaurant and cause people food poison. So they regulate it. It's not regulated in the house. You do it every week. Every time you vacuum, you blow it back out. You take the clean air in your home, you pull it through the nastiest environment in your house, the nastiest place in your house, and then you put nasty air back in your home for your family to breathe. It's not a very clean way to clean, is it? Disgusting. Now the difference in a rainbow is it's a wet system versus a dry system. The rainbow doesn't have leakage dirt because as the air goes in, it washes it all off in the water. You're cleaning with a certified air purifier, so nothing's blowing back out. So it's tremendous for dusting purposes, for allergies and asthma. Very, very good. Now, the second strike was blockage dirt. There's not any holes in water, so you're not going to clog anything up. You can clean this house, the neighbor's house, every house on the street. You're never going to lose your cleanability because of that. The third strike was the mold and bacteria. Not in rainbow either. At the end of the day, when you get through cleaning, you dump your water out, you put clean, fresh water back in. Now you let that water sit there for 2 or 3 days, it's going to stink like crazy too. Of course, it's not going to blow it out because it's wet. It's not going to come back out like dust, but it's going to stink. But you dump it at the end of every day when you get through cleaning. If you're letting it run for an air purification system, you don't have to dump it but every 2 or 3 days because it's just getting the stuff that's in the air. But if you go to vacuuming and you're picking up this big stuff, you definitely want to dump it at the end of the day. So I'm going to show you what I just told you with my little harmonica. Now, when I get through doing those 3 strikes in the vac kill, I actually go straight to the harmonica. That's the perfect time for me to actually show them what I just told them. I don't like them to take my word for it. I actually like to do it. So I get my hose and my rainbow, your upholstery tool, your harmonica, and your black cloth. And that's when you go into the harmonica test and show them the suction versus airflow. When you start pulling stuff off the couch, when you pull that first cloth off, you reiterate, you say, now what color is that? Gray, fluffy mold and bacteria. And that didn't come off your couch, guys, and grow there. It grew in your vacuum, and then you blew it back in the house. So you're creating a condition that you never would have had in the first place. Okay, I've done mine. It's time for you to do yours. Do your best vac kill. You have till Monday at 1. Study, study, study. I'm not looking for exact wordage, but I just want you to have that exact concept down so that you can go up against any vacuum cleaner there is and kill it dead. And I'm going to pick the best one, give you $50 on your next sale, and then I'm going to do another drawing for everybody that sent one in and give the person I draw out $50. So good luck on that. I look forward to seeing all your videos. Thanks for tuning into your first Friday focus training. See ya.